glad to meet you.
You look very nice in blue.
I am.
Is that one of your favorite colors?
All colors are my favorite except red.
Except red. Do you see a lot of red around here?
Your type. That is a lot.
Why do these people like you so much? Why are you so appealing?
I'm also wondering.
Is it the beard or the money or the prestige or?
I don't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any prestige. I am notorious all over the world. What prestige I can have? To be with me needs courage to be with a notorious man. You will lose your prestige if you are with me.
Why is that?
Because I'm notorious. You need not do anything, you just be with me. You will lose your prestige, your respectability, your service. Everything will be gone. They love me because I love them. And they cannot love me more than I do love them. Even the love of all my sannyasins around the world is put on a scale on one side and my love for them on the other side. I am going to be weightier.
When or if you do pass away, or if you died, something happened, who would take over? Would there be someone to take over? What would happen to Rajneesh Param if something happened?
Let me start from some point. I have been waiting my whole life that somebody will ask it, but nobody has asked it. Nobody asks me what will happen to me when I die. Nobody is worried about that. I will be dying, you will be living here. The whole trouble and the journey into the unknown is for me. Nobody seems to be concerned about that. And everybody is concerned about those who will be living left behind. What kind of mind human beings have got? Very egocentric. I am dying and you will be asking me, even at my last breath, what will happen to all these people who will be living. And nobody will ask me that Bhagwan, forget all about us because we will be living. And you are going on an unknown pilgrimage. What can we do for you? But
what kind of a pilgrimage would you be going on when you die?
Whatever kind of pilgrimage. But when one is dying, at least he is out of this world, out of this life, out of all that is known. He is moving into the dark and the unknown and the unfathomable. If you really love the person, you will be concerned about him. But the trouble is, everybody is concerned about himself, although you will be living and I will be dying.
What could we do then? What could we do to help
At
as the
least
living?
you could ask the question. But for my whole life I have been waiting, nobody has asked it. I am simply pointing at the fact of how egocentric man is. Now your question. My whole teaching is centered on the present moment, this moment. I do not care for any tomorrows. In the first place, the tomorrow never comes. Whatever comes is always the now. You are never there, you are always here. Existence knows only two words, now and here. I have heard about an atheist who was very much against God, and to remind himself, his clients, his children, his wife, his friends, he has written in his sitting room in big bold letters, God is nowhere. Then a child is born to the atheist, a small child. He starts growing and learning. He is learning the alphabet. He reads the sentence, God is, but nowhere is such a big word for him. So he splits the word in two. He reads, God is now here. That mistake transformed the whole mind of his father. For the first time, he could see that nowhere consists of now and here. Existence is now and here. I have never bothered about the future. When I leave the body, these people will celebrate as we celebrate everything. And I have no responsibility of them. So the question of anybody succeeding me does not arise. The successor is needed only when I am having any responsibility. I have no responsibility. My approach is that everybody is responsible for his own life. In this commune, they are not here to dump their responsibility on me. They are here to learn how to stop dumping responsibility on others and how to take the whole responsibility of life on one's own shoulders. That's what gives a man dignity, integrity, self. For the first time he feels he is. And the responsibility makes him free of all kinds of slaveries and enslavements. So I'm not going to say what they have to do when I'm gone. That is manipulating people even when you are dead. Moses is still manipulating the Jews. He was not satisfied while alive. While alive, he tortured his people for 40 years in the Middle East deserts in search of some holy land.
So would you say that the Bible is accurate then?
The Bible
by
is
speaking
just
of Moses, or is that
fiction.
a myth? That's fictional?
Yes, it is fiction.
You mentioned God just a few minutes ago, and I was just wondering, what is your concept of God? I know you've been asked that so many times, but...
My concept is exactly whole because I can read nowhere and don't have to cut the words in two. God is nowhere.
God is... I was wondering that because when...
No, wait, don't wonder. Let me finish. Moses tortured Jews for 40 years. Almost 75% of his followers died in that stupid search for a holy land. And finally, not because that they have found the holy land, but just to keep up the face, he declared Israel to be the holy land. No, there is nothing holy in Israel. And he has given commandments to them to be followed after he is gone. The same has been done by Muhammad, by Buddha. They are too much concerned about the fact when they are gone what their people are going to do. It is something of tremendous importance why they are so much concerned. The reason is because in their presence they have persuaded their disciples to repress every natural instinct. Sex has to be repressed and they have to be celibate. Under their influence and charismatic personality, people have accepted something absolutely unnatural. Only an impotent man can be celibate. And no impotent man has been known to become enlightened. Not yet. He has no energy in him. Enlightenment will need tremendous explosion of energy. He cannot even create a child. How can he create himself in a totally luminous way? So no important man has ever become enlightened. And all the people who became enlightened change. Okay? All the people who have become enlightened were really over-sexual. In fact, their over-sexuality was one of the causes for their enlightenment. They had so much energy that the woman was not enough. Many women were also not enough. They had such a great energy that they wanted to make love to the whole existence itself. And that's what enlightenment is. It is an orgasmic experience with existence itself.
Are you enlightened yourself?
Yes.
How enlightened? Are you very enlightened?
There are no quantities in enlightenment. Either you are enlightened or you are not enlightened.
I wanted to ask you a question as far as other religions.
No, I have not answered your first question.
Okay.
You had asked me what I am thinking about these people when I am gone. I am not even thinking now when I am here. I am giving them total freedom. I have not enforced anything on them that will make me afraid that once I am gone, these celibates are going to create trouble. I have not repressed anything. If they want to smoke, I tell them to smoke the best cigar possible. Don't go for anything second-rate. If you want to love, find out the best man, the best woman, and go into it as totally as possible. I am in support of expression, and all the old so-called religions were in support of repression. When you repress people, you are certainly afraid. When I am gone, there is going to be chaos. That problem does not exist for me. When I am gone, there is going to be no chaos, because chaos was all that I had been training my people for. My commune is a chaos, and yet a very organic chaos, very creative chaos, a chaos out of which stars are born. That's why that kind of question becomes very difficult for me to answer. I am not giving them any discipline, any rules of conduct. I am simply teaching them to be aware, alert, be independent, take your responsibility, and do whatsoever you want to do. Don't bother about Moses, Jesus, or Buddha, or me. Jesus lived his way. He never bothered about others. If he had bothered about others, Jews would not have crucified him. Buddha never bothered about anybody else. He was continuously condemning the ancient prophets of the Vedas. I have never bothered about anybody. I don't accept anybody as my master or my leader. I am nobody's shadow, nobody's carbon copy, and that's what I am teaching to my people. Don't be anybody's carbon copy, including me. So, alive, dance with me, rejoice with me. When I'm gone, continue to dance and rejoice in remembrance of a man who gave you freedom, who gave you individuality. What else is there to bother about future? Wherever I am, somewhere I must be. I will go on showering my love on my people, and I know they will find ways to respond. But that is something very private, and I cannot reveal it to a non-sannyasi.
You have made a lot of different remarks about religions, and how I believe that this is your most recent one. You can correct me, I'm sure you will if I'm wrong.
That is my most recent one.
Was that this is the true religion, this is the true church, correct?
Right.
You also said that you were building an orchestra out of all these other religions. How do you propose to do that?
I have done it already. There is no question of proposition. You can see in my commune Jews, Mohammedans, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, Jainas.
So you weren't speaking of the whole world then? You were just speaking of...
I am just speaking of my world. Hell to the whole world.
You made a comment a few years back that I believe it was 2/3 of the world population would die of AIDS. Now, recently, all the things that we've seen in the news, that the figures are just astronomical. Do you feel that your prediction's starting to come true?
No need, because they are going to die. So there is no way to save them.
How soon do you think?
Within these 20 years, the last, before the 21st century, they are going to die. Either by nuclear weapons or by AIDS. The nuclear weapons are created by our whole past politics that has brought to the culmination of nuclear weapons. And the AIDS is the culmination of our whole religious past. AIDS is the logical conclusion of all sexual perversions. And religions have caused in men all kinds of perversions. Homosexuality is a very religious discipline. because monks were forced to live together in monasteries where no woman was allowed to enter. There is a Catholic monastery in Ethos, 1,000-year-old. In these 1,000 years, not even a 6-month-old baby girl has entered the monastery. Even that is not allowed. I sometimes wonder, 6-month-old baby girl, what is the fear and what kind of monks are living inside? Are they monks or monsters? And in Ethos, the rule is, once you enter the monastery, only your dead body comes out. You will never come out alive to have any contact with other human beings. There are nunneries where only women can live, no men can enter in. Now what do you want? You are creating the situation for homosexuality, lesbianism, masturbation, and all kinds of things. These monks, these nuns, are the original source of AIDS. So your politics has brought you to the Third World War, which is looming on the horizon, and your religions have brought you to AIDS. Your political and religious leaders have done great service to humanity and to this planet. I am certainly concerned with my people. They have been given all the information about AIDS, while governments are trying to repress it. For the simple reason, because if you accept that AIDS is spreading, it may create anarchy, chaos, turmoil. Governments are repressing exact information. Rich people can afford private doctors, private physicians, and they can keep their mouths shut with their dollars. There are many people who have AIDS and they are confirmed by the medical profession, but the public does not know about them. And just think of the situation. A person who has AIDS can live at the most 2 years, at the most, which is almost impossible. If he remains secluded, avoids all kinds of infections, does not come in contact with anybody, perhaps he may survive 2 years. Otherwise, 6 months is going to be the average. Just think, you are given 6 months to live. You would not like to be condemned by people that you have AIDS. You bribe the doctor, and you have only 6 months to live. Naturally, you will make as many sexual contacts as possible. Life is fleeting out of your hands. You would like to do everything that you wanted always to do, but you had time to postpone. Now there is no time to postpone. So these people who are not made known to the public are going around spreading AIDS like wildfire.
So you don't think the federal government is doing enough to control AIDS then?
Not at all. They are doing nothing. Their senators have AIDS, and they are not yet imprisoned, those senators. Their senators are homosexuals. They should be immediately arrested. There is no other way. Put them into imprisonment.
Would you do that with a sannyasin if he had AIDS or
There
she
is
had
no
AIDS?
need, because okay. My sannyasins are living in a totally different world. I have 1 million sannyasins around the world, and I am trying them all to come and live in communes. Don't live in the outside world. So I am segregating them into different places, into different countries, in communes. And because we do not condemn anything, every sannyasin goes through the medical test, and if he finds that he has AIDS, the whole commune is full of compassion for the person.
Are you testing for AIDS then? Do
Yes.
you test for AIDS?
Yes.
New converts?
Yes,
come out?
we have our own medical center, all kinds of expertise, doctors, nurses, hospital. And we have a special place far away in the mountains where we remove those people who have AIDS. We take care of them. We give them everything they need, books to read, films to see, games to play. And they are respected in the commune. And everybody is responsible, and they are responsible that they are no more to make any sexual contact, not even kissing, because AIDS is caught through kissing. So I am telling my sannyasins, change your patterns. Drop the idea of kissing, which is certainly unhygienic even without AIDS. Two persons mixing their saliva, which contains all kinds of germs. And there are idiots who are doing French kissing. I have supposed to my sannyasins change that pattern, start rubbing noses with each other, hygienic, clean, and if sometimes somebody has cold, At the most, you can catch cold. And this is not a big problem. Nobody considers cold a disease. If you don't take medicine, it goes in 7 days. If you take medicine, it goes in 1 week. And this is not something new. Eskimos have been doing it for their whole history. They don't kiss. They rub their noses, and they enjoy rubbing their noses. As much you want, you can rub. But there is no problem. And I think Eskimos are far more progressive, at least about kissing. There are other aboriginal tribes also in India where noses are rubbed. Kissing is simply laughed at. When Christian missionaries reached those aboriginal tribes to spread Christianity, the aboriginals have not stopped laughing yet about 2 things. One, the missionary posture they call man on top of the woman, which looked very ugly to the aboriginal because the woman is fragile, delicate. She should be on top, and this huge animal putting all his weight and doing push-ups on the poor woman. In India, this posture is called missionary posture, because for the first time they came to know about it through Christian missionaries. Otherwise, in India, there are known 84 different postures. And in those 84 different postures, the Christian, the missionary posture is not included. And second thing, they could not believe that these people kiss. And these people are trying to open hospitals, medicine. Can't they understand what they are doing? This is very unhygienic. The aboriginals who are 5,000 years back to the civilization have never agreed for kissing. Even though they had become Christians, because they are poor and Christians could provide them with food, clothes, education, they have become Christians, but they have not started kissing. They still rub their noses. So, as far as mass sannyasins are concerned, perhaps they will be the only ones who can escape the calamity of AIDS. Because we don't condemn anybody. If he has AIDS, so what? Take precautions. And because he is not disrespected and humiliated for that, on the other hand, he becomes the center of the love of the whole commune. Now we have 2 sannyasins who have confirmed AIDS. We are taking care of them, and we have given them the most beautiful part of our land, the best beautiful view.
Are they here in this commune? You have
Yes,
two cases of
are
AIDS?
here in this commune, but we have 126 square miles So they are miles away, beyond the lake, living in a beautiful place and doing whatsoever they can do. They can do proofreading, they can do editing, or whatever they want. They can simply make a beautiful garden there. And if those two, both sannyasins, want to make love to each other, there is no problem. Nothing more can happen to them. What has to happen has happened. Perhaps two persons having AIDS making love may come to discover that this is the only way to get rid of the disease. Nobody knows. So we may be able to find out if they survive more than 2 years. That means we have found what the medical science has failed to find. But we will be taking care of these people. They are victims of religions. But what they can do? If the politicians and the religious leaders, that means nuclear weapons and AIDS, are in a race, who destroys humanity first? I don't think politicians have guts enough to go for a third world war. Because both the sides, America and Soviet Union, have enough nuclear weapons to destroy this planet 700 times. I don't think any politician in America or any politician in Russia has guts enough. And what is the point? The whole point in a war is to be victorious. But in this war, nobody is going to be alive. The question who was victorious and who was defeated will remain unsettled. And there will be no one to write the history either. Just because of the totality of war, war is an impossibility. There is no need for pacifists unnecessary to scream and take protest march. Just forget all about it. Nuclear weapons have already done. They have finished the idea of war. Politicians can go on talking about war because that keeps them in power, but there is going to be no war.
What would happen, in your opinion, if a third world country got a hold of a bomb and detonated it and started another third
Nobody can start it. Because everybody knows that starting it is finishing the whole humanity. And those poor countries who are dying, you think Ethiopia is going to have nuclear weapons? Do you think India is going to have nuclear weapons? They are trying, but their half of the population is on the verge of becoming another Ethiopia. They are selling their wheat. The people who have produced the wheat are dying because they are hungry, and their wheat, their production, their labor is being exported so that India can manage to have a nuclear plant. Sheer stupidity. But even if they can get Nobody can conceive India becoming a nuclear power comparable to Soviet Union or America.
India may not have it now, and it may not be a threat, but what about Cuba or Libya, Gaddafi?
Nobody, even if they can afford, even if they can make, nobody has guts to start seeing the whole perspective. The whole thing is clear. That if you start, that is not the end. Soon you will be retaliated with nuclear missiles and you will be destroyed. And your starting it will mean the end of the world. So I don't think there is any possibility of Third World War. It is simply cancelled. And strange it is how things happen in history. War goes on becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and a point comes it is too big that you cannot manage to have it. War itself commits suicide. And that's what the Third World War is. Once Albert Einstein was asked, can you say something to us about the Third World War? He said, I have no idea, but if you want to know about the Fourth World War, I can say something. The inquirer was simply at a loss. He could not believe what Einstein is saying. About Third World War you cannot say anything. What you can say about Fourth World War? And Einstein said, it will never happen. That much can be said about it. But about Third World War, there is no way to say anything. So the war is certainly cancelled. Nuclear war, any other kinds of war can go on. They are just football games. So I am not concerned about that. But AIDS is certainly my concern. Because it is spreading individual to individual. No government control is possible. Even your president, your prime ministers may be having it. Nobody knows. Unless everybody is checked. And you should begin with President Ronald Reagan, because that is the place to start with. White House should be completely checked, because this White House is just like white lies. What is going on inside it is all black. In Oregon, catch hold of Governor Atiyah. Start checking from there. First, all your assembly members, your senators, first do it on the highest level. Because these are the people who can keep it to themselves and go on spreading. And then by and by come lower and lower and find out people. And these people have to be segregated someplace. It is such an urgency, it cannot be delayed. And the whole humanity has to be made aware of all the facts relating to AIDS, all precautions that are possible. And around the world, create the atmosphere that if anybody has AIDS, he is simply a victim of centuries of stupid religious ideas. Don't be hard on him. Help him. So at least in these last days of his life, he can relax. No need for him to be employed. No need for him to think of other responsibilities. Free him from all responsibilities. Let him enjoy music, movies, literature, and be compassionate to him. I don't think your world is going to do it, but my communes are doing it already.
Now, you've made quite an issue that...
Wait. You can take few grapes.
Thank you, that's all right.
No, they are just as useful as smoking.